everybody. Welcome back to coverage here of the Mana Trader series. We're heading to the finals. Sorry about that little cutout. Adrian's power just completely went off. Nothing we can do when that happens. That's not good.
Act of God.
That was an act of God, absolutely. So I will let you know if you missed the end of that Remy match. Remy ended up top decking Extinction Event, which exiled 3 creatures from their opponent's battlefield and 0 from Remy, and the game became very trivial from there. So huge top deck to put Remy into the finals, but Remy indeed did take it down and is going to be playing against Race. So let's check out the bracket here, our top 8 bracket. And yeah, okay. So this is where we're at. Remy against Race in the finals. And both of these players have locked up that end of the year slot. And now they're just playing for an extra thousands of dollars. No big deal.
Yeah, that's just, everyday fare when you're a Remy Fortier Pro Tour champion.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? You just want to win. So there we see the payout is what, and I believe it is 3,000 for, yeah, 3,000 for first, 2,000 for second. So we're playing for a cool $1,000 here. And yeah, just gonna be a really awesome finals here. Let's take a look at the deck lists of these two players as they get the finals ready to go. And this is not one of them. There we go. There's Race. Tell us about this a little bit.
Yeah, pretty typical looking Lotus Field deck list. The Masterminds acquisition still in the deck. We saw some lists earlier that were not playing that, but main deck fairly stock. Sideboard a little bit heavier on creatures with that second copy of Dragonlord Dramoka, has the one Zakama, and a bunch of sweepers. So I think this is going to be, 2 players that know their decks really well, that know the format really well, understand the matchup, and it's just going to be about playing tight and maybe, a key top deck in a key spot, because there's not really any surprises here. And there's certainly no surprises when it's open deck list.
Absolutely, Ed. We've seen this deck a lot. So, all right, let's take a look at the other deck list as these players get seated and ready to go for the finals. And I do have a word that both players have a webcam and a mic. So we will be doing a winner's interview after this with whoever takes it down. And that's going to be really exciting stuff. So
should be really fun. The key here from Remy's list, I look at that sideboard and I see 4 copies of Duress to complement the 4 Thoughtseizes. So
wow,
really got to like that in this matchup.
Okay.
And I also
go blank, right?
Yeah, a couple go blanks. I like the Misery Shadows in the main. Just I want to play a creature on turn 2 every game in this matchup and start pressuring. But we got plenty of good sideboard options, so we can cut a lot of that poopy removal.
A lot of poopy removal coming out for a lot of hand disruptions coming in. Who would you say is favored in this match? Die roll dependent, just with deck list in mind.
I think I would take either player on the play.
Okay.
But I'm going to go slight edge for Remy with the 4 Duresses in the sideboard. I think that's a big game.
Interesting. I'm going to say a slight advantage to Race. But I agree. I think it's really close. I think it could go either way. The finals of the Mana Trader series in April here, featuring Pioneer, probably our largest open event, and 2 great players here. Race up against Remy Fortier.
Looks like Remy taking a mulligan, had a Thoughtseize in that opener, but no real clock and awkward mana, and now has a very solid 6, but not for a combo matchup. We're just going to be playing some creatures on the early turns and not really disrupting, and Race's hand looks very solid. Has the Lotus Field end stage all locked up, and a Hidden Strings really needs to find like one other big payoff.
Wow. Okay. All right. So here's a land. Fatal Push off the top. Absolutely what you don't want. That'll be being discarded to Fable if that's the option. But here's another land. Sylvan Scrying to find. What do you find? You already have what you want.
Yeah, Thoughtseize can't take the lands that you have. Maybe you find like an Otawara.
Maybe you just find another Thespian stage to really go nuts.
Another stage, the second temple, in case you want to scry again.
Yeah, does decide for the temple. Interesting.
Yeah, I think Thoughtseize is the main thing you're worried about. And if they Thoughtseize away some of your key cards, you just want to see as many cards as you can to replace them.
Checks out to me. So we see a land there. Another Fabled top deck. So another brutal draw. And Remy really won't be playing Magic unless we get a land here. You can Bank Buster and at least draw a card next turn, but that's not it. And Raised hand isn't like I automatically win. Behold is not emergent ultimatum. That's kind of the big thing here, but Behold will still do some work. It might be better, to be honest, like
We'll definitely do some work, especially, we're going to go.
oh my god, this could be a train wreck. If you want to use up your mana to besage you Bankbuster, Remy's like, yep, you got it.
Please
Probably not going to see
do.
that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that concerned about a bank buster here.
So it doesn't go for Lotus Field. It kind of doesn't matter which order you do this in, at least for game ones, when there's no damping spheres, anything like that.
You do potentially get an extra mana by going Lotus Field first and next turn stage copy. So if you do like an Arboreal Grazer, it matter.
Yep. Okay, that's fair.
Could have put that temple onto the battlefield with a Grazer, get an extra mana the following turn and a scry.
Yeah, not sure what you fully play around there. I guess Beseiju? I don't know, but there's the pathway. So you just got to jam Fable here, right? Or do you try to find a Thoughtseize?
If your opponent has, Graveyard Trespasser here and Crew, you can then Beseiju after they do it and not really give them much of an advantage and keep 4 damage off of you.
Yeah, doesn't even seem important.
I think you're going to win the race here.
Yeah, this is looking really good for race to start, for sure.
Yeah, and if you're Remy, I think you got to play the Fable.
Yeah, same. Play the Fable. You need to discard Fatal Push, step 1. Probably Bone Crusher Giant, and just pray that you have Thoughtseizes on top of the deck. And then just pray Race doesn't have any more gas on top of the deck. Because you can take the one card that matters here, Behold. And then, Race has to top deck.
Yeah. And your opponent has a Lotus Field at hand. They cast Sylvan Scrying last turn, didn't find one. Must have already been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is essentially face up along with the Temple of Mystery that did get found off of the scrying. And so if you're in Remy's spot, you've got to think, I only have this turn and next turn, so I can't possibly race you. So I have to dig as hard as I can for disruption. And that means playing Fable.
Totally agree. Play the best card in the far. That's not a Fable. That's
okay,
Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, thanks, bud. Thanks, bud. You have been deemed useless here. So here we go. It is just pressure. Pressure is the name of the game. I guess what Remy's trying to do is set up top decking a land to go Shieldred into attack for 8 and say, okay, you can't draw that many cards then. I kind of like it. I kind of respect it.
Yeah, it stops any pour over the page.
Like, it'd be like your plan was to pour twice.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't. You're dead.
I can see the reasoning.
I'm here for it. Did you win a Pro Tour?
Yes.
No, you didn't, and neither did I. So we'll leave this to Remy.
If you think I've never won a Pro Tour, name who has won every Pro Tour.
I know no Rosses have won a Pro Tour. Not a single Ross.
What about Pro Tour Kuala Lumpur?
That was won by John Moritz Merkel.
It was won by John Finkel.
Whatever. His name's not Ross.
Okay. Thespian Sage copies of Temple of Mystery on end step for
comic value mostly.
Yeah.
So now
just to give us something to talk about.
Yeah. Now is there some scenario where you win this turn? Because you paid 2 mana. You Lotus, you hidden. Okay, yeah. So you can. Yeah, I think there's a possibility you win right now with that other hidden strings.
So float 3, play Lotus Field.
No, float 2. Float 2, play Lotus Field, untap. Oh, yeah. Float 3. So then you have.
Sack the non-stage lands.
Yeah, and then copy it, then hidden strings again. Yeah, I think you could probably do it.
Then you tap the Lotus Field, go up to 4 mana, copy. You have 2 floating and 2 hidden strings left.
Yeah.
So then you play hidden strings, go up to 6, play another hidden strings, go up to 10. Cast Behold the Beyond, go down to 3 mana. And then you can find the 4th hidden strings, Leer, and Emergent Ultimatum. And then you go up to 7 mana with the 4th hidden strings, play Leer, have 4 hidden strings in the graveyard.
And then you have Behold in your graveyard too, so
and
you can
Behold,
just do it again. Yeah, I think this is it.
And then so you have 2 floating after the Leer. Each hidden strings makes 4, so you go up to 18. And 18 mana, Emergent Ultimatum, Behold the Beyond. That probably wins the game.
I think you're right. Yeah, so we'll see. Race just going through the motions here as well. Here's the float 3 that we were talking about to start.
You could even get the Omniscience just to simplify, and then play the Omniscience with 18 mana, then play Behold the Beyond with 1 mana floating, find Mastermind's Acquisition,
Dark Petition, and that's it. That's all you need. You go get Approach, cast it, Dark Petition for Approach.
So I think this is over.
Impressive. And this is a turn 4 kill without a grazer. You know, like you turn 4 kills are very possible, but you usually need a grazer
Or 3 hidden strings.
or 3 hidden strings. Not so hidden right now, are they? So here we go. Behold, one of the targets, probably going to be hidden strings number 4.
Yeah. Hidden strings 4, Lear, and a card.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter, but I think
Textless ham sandwich,
I
please.
think Omniscience is the card you find that kills with the fewest clicks.
Yeah, okay,
They found poor over the pages.
here
That
for
works
that.
too.
I'm here for that. All right.
Okay, poured into Emergent Ultimatum. Let's do Lear first. Why not?
All just going through the motions here.
And yeah, a rough game 1 draw here from Remy. But if you're going to have a rough draw in this matchup, I would take it in game 1.
Oh yeah, because this is almost the impossible one, anyways, right?
Yeah, this is the tough one. I would say Reyes is a pretty significant favorite in game 1. But post board, when we've got 8 discard spells, go blanks, all this removals out of our deck, different story.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Here we go. Emergent Ultimatum. All trivial from here. Remy just saying, you know what? I haven't played against you yet. Let's see if you know how to do it. And Race does.
A master of the archetype. I wonder if this Emergent Ultimatum is just to get Remy to like pick a card and maybe you get a read on how they approach the matchup.
Yeah, maybe.
Remy says, you know what? I believe you. You're going to win.
I'm not going to give you any free information. So, all right. Game 1 to Race here, 1 game away from crowning themselves the champion. And tell me a little bit about, we talked about this deck. We've seen these decks all day. What is the game plan again for anyone just joining?
I mean, it's the same game plan you have against any combo deck. You want pressure plus disruption.
Yep.
And it's about sequencing to maximize your pressure while not allowing a window for your opponent to combo. And that's pretty easy when your disruption cards all cost 1. And 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Duress is going to be excellent. Even the Pithing Needle on Thespian stage could be a backbreaker early, and then maybe go blanks to rip apart the hand. We're going to cut a lot of this removal. All the pushes out for sure. The Dreadbore out for sure. Maybe you cut some number of power word kills. I'd probably leave a couple in just for Lear purposes. But Go Blank is also good against Lear. Maybe I'll probably also bring in the Croxa. Just keep hitting their hand. Keep hitting their hand.
Yep. Anything that deprives them, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because you got so many removal spells that. Do you keep in any against the like Dragon Jamoka game plan? I don't think they're bringing in against you. It seems super bad.
Well, it's the power word kill doesn't kill Zakama. Oh, no, it's a dinosaur, not a dragon.
It's a dinosaur.
Okay, so power word kill. I mean, I think they usually do bring that card in almost all the time. So I would leave in a power word kill or 2. But and you can still I don't like Bankbuster. It's like it can be okay, but for the most part it's only good when you're following it up, curving out perfectly.
Totally agree. Okay.
Well, Bankbuster got left in. Again, I'll go home.
Yep, absolutely. You're unneeded.
This is another all pressure, no disruption hand, though, from Remy. I think they're going to mulligan this one. And with 8 pieces of disruption post board, 8 1-mana count discard spells, I like being more aggressive with these mulligans.
Yeah. So you would mulligan this one?
I would. And
naturally, Remy's going to snap keep then.
Yeah. Reyes' hand looks great to me. Already has a Lotus Field, has a Sylvan Scrying to find Thespian Stage, Impulse and Pour to find whatever else you need. This is also a hand that's pretty resilient to a discard spell.
Yep.
This might be.
Yeah. If you have the card Lotus Field in your hand, it's resilient.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a snapper from Race because that's some of the problems you can have is you just keep a hand with 1 Sylvan Scrying, it gets Thoughtseize and you never draw.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'd snap it off. I'd keep both, to be honest, but.
Yeah, but you never mulligan. So
exactly.
We already knew that. You didn't have to say anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, Remy keeps.
Okay. Harvester into Bone Crusher, though, is still pressure. You know, I mean, that's still a thing. But as it stands, I mean, Race hand is still very good. You know, Sylvan Scrying on 2, get that Thespian Stage, Sylvan Scrying or Impulse on 3 into play the stage. Probably not winning on 4. This is probably a turn 5, but there's probably enough time as well. A lot of probablys.
I suspect we'll play the Bankbuster here because then we can go Bone Crusher, Crew attack for 4. Next turn, Harvester, Crew attack for 8, and either play second Harvester or some disruption. And that would be great. One piece of disruption and a turn 5 kill on the play,
Yeah.
I think would be good enough.
We'll see.
And if you think you really need the disruption, you can use Bankbuster on turn 4 to draw.
Yeah, I think I'm still playing Harvester because you get the blood to draw for a cheaper
Yeah.
if you really want.
True, true. How does it affect the clock? So Bankbuster will attack to 16, then Bone Crusher, and then Harvester, you attack them to 8, and you have them dead the following turn for sure. If you play Harvester, attack them to 17, Bone Crusher, attack them to 10. You can then play Harvester plus Disruption and have them dead again.
Bankbuster's the play.
Looks like the clock is about the same. And mediocre draws here from Reyes, just more stuff that they already had. But next turn they'll be able to go Impulse, Lotus Field, then Stage Copy. And then we'll be off to the races.
Off to the races indeed. So, all right, we're going to see. What are we going to cast here? I kind of like Harvester and Sack. Get rid of one of these lands to try to interact, but you're not interacting this turn unless you go draw with Bankbuster, and then your pressure's gone. And then maybe you hit a Thoughtseize. Like, that's not great.
I think whatever you do, step 1 is make sure you have them dead on turn 5. Because right now, Reyes is setting up for a turn 5 kill.
Yeah.
It's Lotus Field on 3, Copy on 4, kill you on 5. But if you can just win the race, then you don't need to draw Disruption.
Yep.
I think so. This attacks for 4. Then next turn we can attack for 7, and then we still have 10. Okay, so this is still a turn 5. So I like this. This is seeing the most cards.
Hidden String's a big draw.
Yeah, now
It's going to help. That could speed it up a turn. Who knows? You could win next turn.
Yeah,
Race could definitely win next turn.
That was step 1 if you want to kill on turn 4, was Hidden Strings. I think you probably need a second one.
Probably, or a Vizier maybe does it. Vizier Hidden Strings allows you to get to 6 mana and pour over the pages from that. That's usually good enough.
Finds an Emergent Ultimatum. That's a solid one. And I imagine we will be discarding a land to... Yeah, I gotta discard a land because you need all the creatures to guarantee the turn 5 clock.
Goodbye, Pathway, it looks like. Draw a card. I think we need interaction. Misery Shadow is not it.
We can still go Harvester, Sack Blood.
To try to find one of your 8 cards. Blight Pathway is not it either, so you have a choice. You could go Harvester and Misery Shadow and get in there for 7 and present lethal next turn, right?
You have lethal regardless. Just Harvester, attack for 7, next turn creature, crew.
Yeah. Okay, so I like Harvester, Sack,
yeah.
Discard Misery Shadow then.
This is still just a turn 5 kill from Remy, about as fast as Rakdos can clock you.
Yep. I think it is exactly as fast. I think there's a turn 4 is not possible. But yeah, I would be a fan of sacking a blood here with the Harvester to try to find a Thoughtseize. Like,
yeah,
I think you need to interact. And if you Thoughtseize, do you just take Hidden Strings? Like, what? Probably, right? Because it's the only thing that maybe progresses you to winning that next turn, and then you just win.
Yeah, I would definitely.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see if Remy goes for it.
Then you just have to fade a sweeper. And even if they sweep you, you've got more gas back.
Yeah.
And your Bankbuster's going to live. You can just go Misery Shadow, pump, crew, attack again, present lethal. And they're basically back in the same spot. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward how the rest of this game plays out. And Reyes, I think, is going to have to draw reasonably well in order to take this one down. And a game where Remy Mulligan, or once again, presented basically no disruption.
Yeah, because I think even if Remy just bricks, you know, like I think there is a piece missing. If you top deck Hidden Strings or Vizier, boom, I think that's GG. But if you don't, it's a lot more murky.
Yeah, Vizier would let you then copy Hidden Strings, get up to 6, pour up to 7.
Exactly, yep. Okay, so here we go, Harvester.
And even at that point, the Balagad recoveries can combine with Hidden Strings to net you an extra mana.
Yeah, that's cute.
So then you'd actually have Emergent Ultimatum with 2 mana floating, which I think is a kill.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah, it looks like it's a Hidden Strings or Vizier. It's going to be necessary for Reyes. A nice little 7-outer.
Okay, here we go. I mean, I think you still sack this blood, right?
Yeah, got it. You have 8 1-mana discard spells.
Yeah,
49 cards left in the deck. You're 16 and change percent.
pretty
To,
solid.
I'll take my 1 and 6, and I think that would just lock up the game. At that point, I don't know what sequence of draws Reyes could have to be at a point where they could win. It would probably have to be like a sequence of a bunch of viziers into a sweeper so that you could copy the state with stage and sweep the battlefield for a turn,
Yep.
and it might require all of them.
All right, Remy just taking their time. Hopefully, we're still online. That's
Yeah.
Anybody's power go out? Anyone? Remy, Adrian, us? We're good. Okay.
Is if Path of Peril is one of the sweepers in the deck right now, you could double vizier into Path or triple vizier into one of the 4 drops.
Okay, just plays Misery Shadow, Ross. If Thoughts is on top,
There's a
might regret.
Sanctum.
I don't know if that's enough. So I think you can pour. You can get to pour. You can go Thespian Stage, Hidden String, float 2, pour with 1 mana floating and untap. And then I think you have to find some gas.
You have to find another Hidden Strings.
Yeah.
But if you play stage, you Hidden Strings them both floating 2, then you go up to 6, you pour floating 1, untap. Now you got 5 mana.
Yep.
If you find another Hidden Strings, that gets you up to 7.
Gets you up to 6, right? Because you have that 1 floating, and then you use 1 from Lotus Field to copy, and then the 2 remaining
you
mana.
You can just not copy, and then the Hidden Strings still just nets you 2.
Well, you got to copy. If it nets you the same, not copying is stupid.
Copying costs you a mana at that point, because it costs 3 mana to use the Thespian Stage 2 and tapping the stage itself.
Sure.
And then you
where
get
are you
2
going
extra
from
mana.
there?
Yeah.
Where are you going from there if you don't copy, And then your spells start netting you mana instead of costing you mana.
Yeah, so maybe you need hit strings plus vizier to get that 1 extra.
Yep. Either way, it looks not great for Raced here, and so far, Raced hasn't been interacted with at all, except punched in the face repeatedly.
Yeah. If you just find the 1 strings, then you can do the Balagan recovery loops, like we talked about, to net 1 extra mana after you copy and strings. So I think we just need to find a Hidden Strings off this pour, and we might be off to the races.
All right. Here we go. Let's see if it's there. All blue mana.
Yeah, pour floating a blue.
Big draw step.
All things we already had.
I think that's game. You can Balagans to get Hidden Strings. That sets you up with 4 mana. That does nothing when you don't have the Thespian Stage.
Yeah, all that does is cost you mana.
Yep.
We could. How?
You're 1 short of Ottawaring.
Yeah, Sylvan Scrying for Ottawara you can't do. And
you can Sylvan Scry.
That wouldn't keep you alive anyway.
I would say you could Sylvan Scry for Beseiju to hit Bankbuster, but if you just Misery Shadow, that's lethal if you just pump it into that.
Yeah, I think we're heading to a game 3.
I think we are. Alrighty, Remy. Taking it down here. Going to game number 3. One last game here in the Mana Trader Series Finals. To take this down for the month of April. Both these players did lock up that invite already. And a reminder to anybody else who wants to play in the next month, it's Modern, best format. And if you want to join the loan program and start renting out these cards, ! Bash Bros in the chat, and that'll give you 15% off. And a reminder, after this game, we're going to be taking a short break just to set up the winner to come and do some chatting. So after this gets done, make sure to stick around to either hear some words from Remy or from Raced and listen to their journey. They're about to play round number 13 in this tournament for them. That is a big one. Let's see which one it's going to be. Lucky number 13.
A long weekend, and it all comes down to this. You got to feel, if you're Reyes, you're on the play for this game. That feels good.
Yep.
If you're Remy, you got to split while drawing no disruption.
Yeah.
So just give me a game where I draw some disruption.
Yeah. Well, Raced mulliganed once a no-lander, and now this hand is also unplayable. So that looks like a mull to 5 to me from Raced. And on the other side, Remy.
I mean, mulligan the first hand because it had no black mana. It was
that looks like a mulligan too, right? Are they both mulliganing to 5? Yes, I'm here for it. Just an absolute.
Remy's hand is somewhat defensible, but yeah, I think I would mulligan both. So yeah, both players on 5 cards.
Look at that 5 from Raised. It looks terrible. You got to mold a 4.
No.
No, yeah, I'd probably keep that. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad.
I think you have to keep it.
Oh man, I love it. When both players, you're about to go into the most epic sword fight of your life, and both of you forgot your swords. You brought a squirt gun, and your opponent's like, "Oh, I forgot my sword as well. Well, I have this pen. Should we still fight?" We're like, "I guess." People are watching, so.
Reyes squeaked by in one of
Wow.
these games in the semifinals too, against Serum, or was it Serum Visions? Yes, on Azori Spirits. So gonna need to win another one of these.
I think that's the
Weird games.
multi-4, and this multi-4 is also bad. What the heck? Like, this wouldn't be a keep if it was a 7. It's probably a keep because you're on 4.
Yeah, gotta keep stage, field, and the 2 mana spells.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe you just keep Dragon Lord Jamoka, just thinking like, all right, I need to, if I can combine Lotus Field and stage.
Love these keeps from Remy. Just go turn 2 Misery Shadow, turn 3 Go Blank You. You're on 4 cards, and then pump my mana into Shadow and get it dead.
Wow, this is what we all wanted from our last round here. Just an absolute horrible draw against another pretty horrible draw. I mean, Remy's is definitely functional, at least.
Yeah.
To be fair, a deck like Remy's is going to multi-5 a lot better than a deck like Race most of the time.
We might see oh my god. We might see Remy Fortier win this match against Lotus Field with 8 1 mana discard spells in his deck without drawing a single one.
Nope, drew one.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'll just go home.
Just go home. I'll finish this. You are not needed. Wow. Okay, so here is, I mean, do you Duress or do you Misery Shadow?
Oh, definitely Shadow. Your opponent didn't play a second land.
This is going to be a classic
Yeah.
interview. Oh, no, not like this.
Now you go blank them. And next turn you have Bone Crusher plus Duress. This is curving out.
Yeah, I mean, why go blank them?
yeah,
Play
yeah.
the 4/3.
Sure. Same difference.
Oh, my. Well, this is exactly. There we go. At least you can play that.
Okay.
We're live.
Okay.
Next turn, you get to go Duress and Go Blank you, though. Lose
Yeah.
3 of your cards. Oh, another Go Blank is joining the force.
I think I would go blank first.
I would Duress first. Because what if they discard the 2 spells that Duress hits?
Also, what if you just played land and went pump Shadow 4 times, 10 you? You're at 8.
Yeah, you're probably winning that game,
Yeah.
too. I think
what could they possibly do? What's in, like...
Arboreal Grazer.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll give you that. I like go blanking first because I want them to make decisions before I make them.
But if you only have 2 spells and you discard them and then you Duress, then that's bad.
Okay, then how are you losing?
I mean, I agree, Ross, but... All right, you got to discard 1 Lotus Field, I guess.
Yeah, Lotus Field Shimmer.
All right, Impulse, Lotus Field. Good luck. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Do they try to get greedy here and play the Balagad first? Then
No, you can't. You're
then
dead.
Lotus Field copy. Yeah, you're just dead to the race. So
Yeah.
you got to play Lotus Field and then
Go Blank clears out your next 2 cards.
yeah. So can the deck win with Lotus Field? No one card.
It sure cannot, Ross.
Well,
This is gonna be Remy Fortier winning the most important tournament Remy has ever won in his life.
Quad Vizier gets us to 7 mana.
Oh, okay. Quad Vizier into a dragon. I guess, yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Here's what it has to be: Vizier, Dragon Lord Jamoka, probably. Oh, wrong order.
We missed the Viziers first.
Called it.
Just an incredible back and forth game to end our tournament there. That was what, 5 mulligans?
Well, we had a multi-4, and then we had a multi-5. And both hands were pretty bad, but yeah, that might not have been the exact last game that you'd expect from the finals, but you know what? Magic has variance, and that was hilarious.
Just Grizzly Bear, 3 mana 4/3, go blank you.
Take your cards.
Unbeatable curve.
All right, everyone, we are going to take a short break to contain our laughing a little bit, but also get Remy Fortier, the champion here of the Mana Trader series, in for a little interview. So we're going to take a short break, but on the other side, we'll have that champion that took down the April series. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back here to the Mana Traders series, and we are champion Remy Forte. How are you doing, man? Congratulations.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I wasn't expecting to win the whole thing, but I've been a bit fortunate in some rounds, and I made it. So I'm very happy.
Well, huge congratulations. Yeah, you said that you were a little fortunate. We were kind of joking when we were getting this call going. You mulled to five the last game. That's not that fortunate, but your
Yeah.
opponent raced ended up not having a functioning hand. So, tell me what was going through your head on turn two when race just said go.
Well, it's a bit of a mixed feeling because on one hand, of course, I'm ahead in a very important match, so that counts. But on the other hand, I also see it's a bit of a missed opportunity for great entertainment for the viewers. And I also play Magic to play great games, and unfortunately, that third game wasn't it.
Yeah, we've all been on both sides of those kinds of games, so you can feel it from
Yeah.
both sides. Um, so yeah, congratulations, Remy. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions about your deck. Firstly, Rakdos midrange obviously one of the most popular decks in the format, and we saw throughout this tournament a lot of players who were archetype specialists with their decks, whether it's a tier one strategy or something more fringe. Is Rakdos the deck that you've been on in Pioneer for a while, or is it something you picked up specifically for this weekend?
No, I've been playtesting in this format for 2 weeks, and I've been struggling a lot to find a deck that I was liking a lot. And in the very few days, I found out misplaced Ginger Patreon, who was sharing a lot of information, which made me able to speedrun actually the preparation with Red Black Midrange. So I went there and all the great knowledge he was sharing made me able to have a list that I could understand, because I believe that is absolutely crucial in this format. I think there is not that much of a best deck in the format, or maybe it's black red mid range, but not by that much. And I think it's the precision of your list and your sideboard plans that makes the deal.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. And I liked a lot of the small details of your list. Firstly, the main deck Misery Shadows. That's a card that has sort of ebbed and flowed out of the deck for a while. But this tournament there was a lot of mono green devotion, especially towards the top tables, and it's quite strong in that matchup. So was that the only reason that you had Misery Shadow in your main deck, or was there some other reason for bringing back that piece of tech?
Well, Misery Shadow is a functional card in the deck. Actually, it makes you able to have more pressure. That black red mid range can be lacking some two drops in some matchup, especially the control and combo ones. But yeah, the main reason was those mono green decks. I felt that. The new March of the Machine was giving the deck a lot, and actually Mono Green was lacking some few slots since a lot of times actually, and those flex spots are now completed with the Polukranos and all the tributes and all the great options. So I thought Mono Green would be heavily played, and also there is another thing in that. It's that it's an open field, and an open field is quite special. It means that the metagame is going to be more spread, and decks like linear decks like Mono Green are going to rise mechanically in the high table. So I wanted to be ready for those rounds.
Love that. So, Remy, I got to ask you a real serious question here. Did this tournament, this win here, what felt better, this or Pro Tour Valencia in 2007?
Well, that Pro Tour win changed my life actually, and the kid I wasn't able to understand the deepness of what was happening, but
Yeah, you were
nonetheless,
16, right?
yeah, I was 16. Yeah, there was so much going on. I wasn't understanding everything, but that was quite a ride. And but I enjoy a lot today's victory too, because I'm a bit of a retired player, and making a win is always hard when you are coming back. So that means a lot for me too today.
Yeah, we're all getting to be a little bit older guys now. I think we were all kind of playing Magic. When you were 16, I was 16 at the time as well. Yeah, so the wins later in the career always feel a little bit better. I have to agree.
Feels good to put the young bucks in their place. I got one more for you, Remy, and that's looking at your sideboard. Duress is a staple of these Rakdos decks, and you see it in a wide range of numbers. You've gone all in with the full 4 copies. Why is that a card that you decided to devote that much of your sideboard space to?
Yeah, I had some specific slots before. Actually, the question is the fourth duress for me. The 3 first ones are great, I think, and most players have them. So the question was the first one, and I had until very late in the preparation, I had some necromancias and some kind of slots that are great against sometimes against combo, sometimes against a control. And in the end, I felt the 4 duress that was the slot that would be brought against the most variety of matchups. And to be honest, I feel that the duress is actually the best card you can have against combo and control decks. So I just want to maximize them and have an 8 duress deck after sideboard, which is quite hard to deal with for decks like creativity or blue-white control.
Yeah, I'm sure duress was probably one of the best ways to attack control and combo in 2007, and who would have guessed it still kind of remains the same now. So Remy, I want to congratulate you so much for taking this down. You're $3,000 richer. You will be invited into the December end of the year tournament as being one of the top 2 finishers here. So we'll be seeing you a little bit later. And of course, we'll probably see you in other Mana Traders events leading up to that one. But yeah, huge congratulations again, Remy. That you made it look pretty impressive. Even if I think it was our top 4, we were maybe arguing about some of the plays that you were making in one game. I think it was the one where you had the double Croxa in hand, where against Mono Black, where you were very far ahead, and you found a lethal line as well. We were maybe calling out a different lethal line, but either way, you got there.
Yeah, well, I will go watch the replay to see what which play you are talking about exactly,
Yeah.
so I can improve from your perspective. Thank you.
Oh, maybe we needed the ones improving here. Maybe we screwed that up. But
keep in mind that there is always a commentator bias towards ending games quickly,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
as we get.
Yeah. All right, Remy. So that is about it for the interview here. Thank you so much. Congratulations again. Now, everybody that is watching and wants to be where Remy is right now, holding the, metaphorical trophy. I wish we had one to send out to you. Maybe we'll have Ross one from his collection to you. But if you want to be in the spot where Remy is right now, you can be joining this. Next month's tournament is Modern. Qualifier season will be starting here in a couple of weeks to get that going. And if you want to, borrow some cards, get on this loan program, which I'm sure, Remy, you're on the loan program as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's too nice. It's too nice not to use. I use it as well. It's awesome. You can use !Bash Bros, and you can use that code to save yourself 15% off for future loan programs, and you can start renting some mom cards and practice for Modern as well. So, all right, everyone. I think that's all I got. Ross, you got any other closing thoughts?
No, I'm good. Just congrats to Remy again, and a great tournament.
All right, absolutely. So for Ross Merriam, for Adrian behind the scenes, for our champion Remy, I'm Corey Baumeister. We'll see y'all next time. Okay, bye-bye.